for a brand new band coming out on the road, I don't think it's a very easy thing to do, and particularly going into Europe now, it's kind of a nightmare with all the carnets and Brexit and all that sort of stuff. So it's a very different place, you know, since Brexit, since COVID, since all of that stuff. So it's not easy to make a living of it if you're a brand new kid coming out onto the street. Just let's get in a van and go and make music.
Yeah, near to impossible, I would say.
It's kind of hard.
Guys, thanks so much for giving us your time.
Thank you.
Look, for those people who don't know how you came about, can you just explain your backstory?
Patty and Dwight are in the band called The Wind and the Wave from Austin, Texas. They've done lots of shows with Stereophonics and some of my solo shows. And on the 2019 tour, we began doing a couple of cover versions on stage, which we liked our voices together. And we started writing some songs over a course of about 20 shows. And at the end of it, we did some recording and literally made an album in like 9 days. And then the world stopped with COVID, and we had to hold it for 3 years, and now we brought it out. And that's kind of the very short and sweet version of that story, yeah.
And I want to come back to the album and when you recorded it, but who made the first move? I mean, in terms of creating a new band, who kind of said, we want to go for this, we think it'd be a good idea, and was everyone on the same page from the off?
Like to start creating together, or to make it into a thing?
To make it into a thing, I think.
It was pretty natural.
Kind of just happened, right?
At first he said, let's do a cover of Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty on the encore of his show, which we did, which sounded cool. And then either he or I had a song start that we wrote and finished. I think it was Screaming Hallelujah. And then we had a bunch of songs, but we had songs and were recording before it was a band or a band name. It was just very natural. I still don't know what was going on.
It was kind of a period of time where it was just literally writing songs. Patty and I were exchanging lyrics through the night on emails and stuff, and
it's like we didn't really know where we were going, but we were all kind of taking steps together, and then we just arrived and we were like, oh, we're here.
Yeah, because I think originally we were just going to record and then just see what it sounded like.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, this is really good, we should probably finish this. And then it was a band. Nothing great is ever planned.
To answer your question in a roundabout way, I have no idea.
Thank you. And Patty, I mean, how does it feel playing this album out now? Because as you were just saying, you recorded it in the pandemic, a very different time. Lots of people want to forget anything they associate with the pandemic, but you can't because you're playing this music out. I mean, does it bring back good memories? How does it feel to play it out?
I mean, for me, it feels really good. And we've said before, like, we could have easily put this record away and 3 years later gotten it out and not really liked it anymore. That kind of happens all the time. But it still felt relevant. It still felt like it sounded good. And so,
the record was actually finished before COVID actually started. So we were going to release it, and then COVID stopped the release. So the recording or the writing wasn't done in that period, but the pause was that period. So, yeah.
And what's the reception to it been like?
Amazing.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah.
Kind of really unbelievable, actually, yeah. I mean, we debuted at number 5 on a record that was kind of a side thing for all of us, so it's become a lot more real suddenly, just based on, and we kind of always knew it would go as the fans went.
Yeah.
And they seem to really be taking to it, and our tour is selling incredibly well. I don't know. It's going real well.
Good. And have things changed in terms of live music since the pandemic? Have you got a feel that things are different, that audiences are different? Or
I think people are very receptive. I think people, particularly when people were first allowed back into live rooms, nobody was taking it for granted because, as an artist and as an audience member, nobody's ever experienced that thing being taken away from you before. So I think there's a lot of gratitude for live music and entertainment. And there's a lot of bands on the road.
Yeah.
Like every band in the world is on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crowded market for sure. And also everything has gotten more expensive. So it's like people are very receptive to it, but it's also become more challenging as an artist to get out there.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. You're obviously a new band right now, but you've all previously been in music for a really long time. Doing this afresh, has it changed the way you think about how people consume your music, how you present it to them, like what your offer is, given, as you say, people don't have a lot of money to spend on coming to gigs anymore?
We are literally starting as a new band. It doesn't matter what I've done before or what they've done before. We're in the back of a van. We're not making any money yet. We're playing small shows. We're doing support slots. You're breaking even. And that is what it is for brand new bands. And thankfully for us, we've got a little bit of heritage that can steer a few things and get a few support slots with some bigger acts and things like, because we played with people in the past. But for a brand new band coming out on the road, I don't think it's a very easy thing to do, and particularly going into Europe now, it's kind of a nightmare with all the carnets and Brexit and all that sort of stuff. So it's a very different place, you know, since Brexit, since COVID, since all of that stuff. So it's not easy to make a living out of it if you're a brand new kid coming out onto the street. Just let's get in a van and go and make music.
Yeah, near to impossible, I would say.
It's kind of hard.
It's nice though, because the UK still listens to the radio. They still buy physical products. Like, none of that exists
totally
in the
blew
US
my mind.
anymore. And I think that's helped us over here for sure. Be more organic about it, and really having physical product that people purchase is really. It feels like you're more connected to them, or at least for me, it does.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about physical product. I mean, AI is a big change that's happening in the music industry. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Where do you stand on it?
For me personally, obviously, I'm not against forward-thinking technology and how things are progressing, but I think art should come from people. I mean, the basics of it anyway. I think art has always been somebody's expression, a real person's expression from a heart, from a head. You know, if you're going to start an idea, then a computer finishes it. I mean, it's okay, but it's just about algorithms and things like that. It's not my personal feeling on where it should come from. I'm not really into 10 songwriters on a song, you know. It's like if you're making a painting, you got 10 painters chucking paint on a canvas. I mean, whose painting is it anymore?
People listen to top 40 music, and I don't. That's not my people, really. People will listen to AI music, certain types of people, and that's fine. But my type of person still goes to the record store, still finds new music and goes to shows.
I mean,
you'll never be able to replace that with AI.
I'm sitting here and I have no idea what you guys are talking about in terms of AI and music.
You're the youngest one.
I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't.
I didn't know what it was until I went to the Ivan Novellos, and then it was a big thing that day, talking about artificial intelligence finishing people's songwriting.
Yeah.
And bringing back bands that don't
tell
exist
me that
anymore.
because that is tempting. I want to finish the song. I just want to finish it.
I don't think he's going to let you. He's not going to go in for that.
Just give it to him or give it to me. I'll finish half of it.
Yeah, we got you.
I mean, let's not take any more humans out of the picture.
Yeah.
Look, just finally, we're at a festival. It's peeing it down with rain. You may be used to this kind of weather. You guys may be less so. How do you prepare for a festival like this?
Well, thank God we're in the tent. Yeah.
Lately I've been putting in my headphones and listening to Juicy by Doja Cat to like really pump myself up, doing some dancing around, you know, just to feel like powerful and awesome. What about
I just
you?
do a little warm up and drink a little coffee, then a little white wine right before I jump up on the deck, and then I just rock faces.
An upper, a downer, and go.
Good. Sounds good. Well, we will be tuning in. Thank you so much for chatting to us.
Thank you very much for having us.